Welcome, everybody, to We Geek Podcast. Today is April 16th, 2019, episode 165. My name is Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
And I kind of finally got my voice back a little bit. Sound a little bit better, I hope. But yeah, man, how's your? It's been a few weeks. How you been?
Working.
Working. What have you been up to?
Working.
Just working? Yep, same here.
It's been, with Game of Thrones coming back, we've had to get ready at the pizza place because we always get big for Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
And then, with Endgame in a week, it's been, oh my God, Jesus, the stock that we got at the theater this week. Holy, good God almighty.
Oh, yeah?
I've never seen what 3.5 tons, because they actually have the weight on the sheets, actually looks like. It's insane.
That's
It is
crazy.
just a mountain of everything. It's ungodly. It's ridiculous. It took like 3 days to finally get all of it put away. It was nuts.
Well, yeah, man. Speaking of Game of Thrones, that's pretty much what I've been up to the last 2 weeks.
That's fair. Been rewatching?
I rewatched the whole series.
Oh, that's right. You did the lore too. Like you went hard.
Oh yeah, I've been looking at every YouTube channel possible. I ended up getting a book. What is it called?
Wait, don't tell me you got a Game of Thrones like Art of the Thrones book.
Pretty much what it is. I ended up getting a few books. I got Fire and Blood, which is basically like.
Oh, that's like the prequel one, right?
Yeah, it's hard to explain. It's not really a book of like. It's not like a story. It's like, here's 300 years ago, and here's everything since then.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of like the Tolkien did one for Lord of the Rings. I forget what it was called though.
But the Silmarillion?
Basically that, yeah, where it's just like, here is just a whole bunch of stories. But the book that I did get that I've been poring over is called The World of Ice and Fire, and it's gigantic.
Okay.
It's like a coffee table book essentially. So, and every page has beautiful illustrations from all different sort of artists, but a ton of stuff next to it to explain. Might have a few different pages on a certain character or land or magic, just religion, all sorts of different things. So, and it's massive. It's huge.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice book. But yeah, I've just kind of been poring over that, rewatching the series, jumping into the lore. Got super pumped for. Did you see the episode?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should talk about at the end, spoilery stuff.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, dude, I'm super pumped. I just wish there was a good game out.
Yeah, well, the Telltale game was pretty good. I only played, I think, the first episode, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, but I mean, like this deserves a proper RPG, or like even like an RTS or something, or like a Civ type game. Like it's perfect for that kind of.
Yeah, it's true.
It's one of those, like, you go see a movie and you want the game out, and you're like, wait, where's the game? I just went and saw Spider-Man. Where's the game? I saw Star Wars. Where's the game? Kind of like Game of Thrones. Like I want a proper game to go with it, and it everything's really like mods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yep, that's what I've been doing the last 2 weeks, pretty much. Oh man, I've been diving deep into it. I even ended up getting the card game, the second edition. So I'm gonna be playing that tomorrow, whenever it arrives. So I'm pretty excited.
Nice.
But yeah, man, just work, busy. And other than that, just catching up with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, trying to. I have to be off the internet for the next week.
Oh, why is that?
Because it's leaked.
What's leaked?
Endgame.
Oh, it has?
There was a screening, or there's footage that's leaked, and it's like all over Reddit and shit. And I'm just like, nope, don't want anything to do with that.
Oh yeah. No, if I'm going on the internet this week, it's Messenger to talk to people.
Right.
No, stay off Twitter. Period. I'm not even gonna go on Instagram because I follow a lot of like funny accounts that are
Yeah.
memes and stuff like that, and those are ones that are probably just to troll will post them. So yeah, I'll enjoy my. Wait, when does it come out? It comes out next week, right?
Next week. Yeah, it's in 8
Yeah.
days. Not well.
Well, that's not bad.
No, hang on. 9. 9. I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm turning around on my days. 9. It's
Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. You can watch a bunch of Lord of the Rings, a bunch of Game of Thrones YouTube channels like I am. I have gone down such a rabbit hole, man.
been going
Oh, man.
through like all the different like comedy playlists on Spotify and stuff,
There you go.
and I'm just kind of like I don't like anybody.
You don't
it's
like
it's
anybody?
a
No one's
it's a
sticking out.
bummer because like, and I mean I've listened to, and I mean men and women both. I'm just like I can't get into anything, man.
Right.
And it just kind of bugs me. But it's just
Oh,
like,
that
here's this
sucks.
track that everybody loves, and I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy about it. Let me listen to some other stuff. And it's just like, no, doesn't work for me. Like
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I'm really just listening to it to be like, oh, here's this comedian that either I've heard of or yeah, and that's most of them. It's like, oh yeah, I knew about this person, but I've never like listened to any of their stand up.
Right.
There's been there was one out of like the half dozen I think I've been trying to get into. It's just one, and it's Tiffany Haddish.
Ah.
She and Kate McKinnon seem to suffer a same kind of fate with movies. To
Mm.
me, in movies, not so great, but their acts outside of that, McKinnon on SNL and Tiffany
Mhm.
Haddish's stand up just kill it.
Right.
And it kind of sucks that like that it just doesn't seem to translate as well.
Right.
It's what I call the reverse Will Ferrell.
Ah.
It's like people
Yeah, I
loved
saw
him on
that.
this.
Didn't Will Ferrell? I just read that he broke up with his writer, right? His was it Adam McKay?
Oh, are they? Yeah, I think I saw they consciously uncoupled or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They'd have fallen out.
Eh,
Yeah, producing partners, Will Ferrell and Adam McKay to separate, which is crazy. I mean, they've been going together strong for years.
yeah,
13 years it says now in the. It's crazy. So I mean, they had a lot of success with Step Brothers, Anchorman, stuff like that, Talladega Nights. But the last few years, man, they really put out some duds.
yeah. Sure. Holmes and Watson was atrocious.
Right. Now
It
I never
was.
saw it, but yeah, that's
Don't waste your time. It's
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. No, don't worry. I'm down a rabbit hole right now, and I'm enjoying it because every once in a while I'm like, man, I wish I could fall down a rabbit hole somewhere, and I'm fully placed. I actually
Ta-da.
started. Man, we got a lot to talk about, but Star Wars happened over the weekend.
Yes, it did. Star Wars happened big time over the weekend.
Yes, so, ooh, that got me back in the mood. I see once Game of Thrones, once the hooks are released from me, I see me falling back into that. I just got Master and Apprentice today, the audiobook.
Nice.
Yeah, which is the Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi novel. So I'm a few chapters into that, and they're good as always. Claudia Gray is the author, so.
Yeah, I actually just started rereading Lost Stars.
Oh, there you go.
I think I've read that like 8 times.
It's
And
so
I
good.
love it. And she is fantastic. She's a tremendous writer.
Oh yeah, she's great. She's absolutely great. Yeah, I should revisit that. I've loaded up the iPad with the Star Wars comics,
Yeah.
so I'm preparing myself to go from Game of Thrones to that.
There you go.
Yeah, but I'm excited. But we'll get on to all that in a little bit because there was a ton of stuff from Star Wars Celebration, which was cool. But yeah, man, what was the box office like this week?
Box office was kind of a slow week.
Okay.
Not that in itself wasn't surprising. The standings, I hate call them standings or rankings. But I mean that's kind of what they are. Were a little surprising. We saw Shazam pick up another 24 million over the weekend, getting it a little bit closer to that 100 million mark, which I'm sure it'll break probably by Friday. And it did fairly well domestic, I would think. I don't know what their hopes for it over at Warner Brothers were, but I can't imagine they were a whole lot higher than that. Where the surprise came in was 2 and 3. Little beat Hellboy.
What's Little?
Little is basically they flipped everything about Big.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's you know, it's a grown black woman wakes up as a young girl. And
Gotcha.
she's, you know, it's the whole thing of like she gets yelled at by a kid and that starts the whole thing and all that. It's I don't know, it looks cute enough. Like I
Right.
don't you know, it's kind of like What Men Want where it's like, "Oh, they remade this in a 21st century kind of image, you know."
Right.
It's like all this stuff that was like, "Hey, white guys do everything. Well, let's flip some of this."
Right.
And you know, I didn't see What Men Want, so I don't know. I don't know how it was. The trailers look kind of funny. Um, Taraji Henson is always fantastic. So
Mhm.
I can't imagine that didn't help a lot. And little, you know, little looks fun. It looks like it understands what it is. My
Right.
favorite shot from the trailer is when she actually wakes up as a little girl and she's explaining to her assistant what happened, and her assistant looks at it and goes, "Man, that sounds like some white people problems." It's like
That's funny.
and I like that because that's a bit of a meta jab, and that's like I'm
Right.
good with that. So I don't know it. I you know I'm glad it did well. I'm a little bummed about Hellboy. Um,
Yeah.
did you get a chance to see Hellboy at all?
I have not, no.
It's
Um,
it's it's good. It's enjoyable. It is boy. It earns that R rating.
oh, that's good.
Yeah, they don't go light on the gore. That's for
Yeah.
sure. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. I can understand why it's not setting the world on fire. Um,
Right.
but you know, it's gonna be kind of a bummer because it's gonna wind up being just a gigantic flop by
Yeah.
the end of it. That kind of makes me sad. Especially because David Harbour's really good. He's a good Hellboy. There are times where you forget it's not Ron Perlman because he
Yeah.
sounds so much like him. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, no, the trailers, I like the trailers. I definitely want to see it. It's just, I've been wrapped up in Game of Thrones, and outside of that, I've been super freaking busy with a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's
I'll
worth
make it to the theater.
yeah, it's worth checking out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got that movie pass with the AMC, so um, I'm gonna try and catch Shazam and Hellboy this week before Avengers.
Yeah, you got time because I don't imagine this weekend being excessively massive. You know, I mean,
Right.
Pet Cemetery picked up a little under 10. Dumbo 9.5. It's starting to wind down. And this
Yeah.
week, all we have coming out, we've got Breakthrough and Penguins come out on Wednesday. Uh,
Oh, okay.
so they come out like immediately.
Yeah.
And then The Curse of La Llorona is on Friday.
Oh,
Not
okay.
this will not be a big box office weekend. It'll
Uh,
Of the three, I expect Breakthrough to do the biggest. It's Easter weekend.
oh,
Movies
that's
like
right.
yeah, movies like this are always front loaded. All the religious kind of inspirational sort of movies, like everybody runs out and sees them up front, and then they tend to just kind of crater, um, depending on the market that you're in.
Yeah.
I say living in rural North Carolina where these movies never ever go away.
Right.
But usually, like, they have a big opening weekend and they'll go, oh, wow, this made, $20 million, and it will scare the hell out of everybody. And then next week it'll make like six. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
like, it'll fall off pretty quick, especially given what comes out next week. There's not going to be a lot of, the box office is going to be pretty one sided next week.
Oh, wow.
I think forecasts have Endgame somewhere like I've seen anywhere from like 265 to 275
Mm,
domestic opening weekend.
yeah. I think it's gonna be bigger than Star Wars.
I think Endgame knocks on that 300 million door
Yeah.
for its opening weekend domestic. I really do. I
Yeah.
think it gets close. I mean, when you consider, I mean, hell, we've pre-sold 800 tickets maybe
Yeah.
just for Thursday night alone.
Oh, wow.
I'll tell you a story about that after we're off because I don't know if I've told you
Yeah.
about that one or not.
Oh, wow.
But it's insane, and that's most of that is just for the premium format. It's not
Right.
even for the 2D stuff. This isn't counting how many people are just going to show up. This is
Right.
just pre-sales. I mean, and it's broken all the way. It's made in pre-sales more than a lot of movies make during their entire runs.
Right. Oh yeah. No, no
It's
doubt about it.
it's wild. It's made more in pre-sales than I think anything made this weekend. It's
Yeah.
like 25, 26 million just in pre-sales.
That's
It was
crazy.
the last I saw was 22, but that was like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I think. So it's
Yeah.
got to be up since then. But I mean, that's crazy when you think what's so far had the best box office performance? A movie that's not out yet. Like
Right.
that's some shit.
For real.
But
Oh yeah.
it's gonna be nuts. Yeah. I think Breakthrough takes number one this weekend. La Llorona 2, maybe 3. Penguin's way on down because nobody, school trips come out to see these, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
But I don't know. It's if anybody's in the industry like me, take a deep breath.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna be busy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's. I guess we'll move it into the movies, or do we
I mean, yeah, let's.
the news?
Yeah, we can. We'll just kind of go through this stuff real quick before
Right.
because I mean we had some little news, but I mean we've got. We'll just kind of kick these are our prelims more or less.
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, they talked about that Idris Elba is actually not going to be Deadshot in the new Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
He's going to be in it, but he's going to be playing a different character.
Hmm.
So that's okay, cool. He's in it. I'm still going to be there
Yeah.
for that.
Isn't this like a complete reboot?
That's yes, but there are a couple returning cast members. So
Oh, okay.
I think it's going to be a reboot in the sense that it basically ignores the first one.
Right.
It's going to be like, yeah, it happened, but we don't really talk about that.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So, I'll tell you what, this news surprised me, and I'm also very excited about it. That of everybody that's gonna that they could tap to be in the Eternals movie for Marvel, evidently Kumail Nanjiani is up for a big role,
Yeah.
and I think that's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
It's like the Eternals starring Angelina Jolie and Kumail Nanjiani. Like there's a headline that nobody would have ever expected, and I love it.
Right. No, he's great though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but on the same token, the Black Widow standalone film was supposed to start shooting in June.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be interesting to see that like in the kind of downtime between Endgame and Spider-Man.
Right.
There's still gonna be news because there'll be rumors and leaks and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
Now, weren't there? Didn't they announce some Marvel shows for Disney Plus?
they kind of confirmed what we already knew. Wanda and the Vision are getting their own show, which is going to be called WandaVision. Which when I first read that, I thought, okay, somebody's like cleverly portmanteaued this, and what's it really called? No, that's what's really called.
Right. That's odd.
Okay, yeah, sure, go for it. They confirmed the Winter Soldier and the Falcon show, and I was there one more they talked that because they confirmed the Loki one a while back. I thought.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Wanda. They should have just called it the Odd Couple.
yeah, right.
I wonder what they're gonna call the Winter Soldier and Falcon show, like the Caps.
The Caps.
I don't know.
I don't know. The
They
Winter
can't just call these shows like the bubble. They should. I don't know, like the Marvel Team Up or something like that.
I don't know though. The Winter Soldier and Falcon show kind of has a fun little ring to it.
I guess. Yeah.
It sounds like something they would have made in the 50s.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Man, we're getting 3 Marvel shows, but the one I am the most excited for is The Mandalorian. But we'll talk about that, I guess, in a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we've got that lumped in with the Celebration news.
Oh yeah.
I also, speaking of stuff announced for Disney Plus, they're doing a Monsters Inc. sequel series called Monsters at Work.
There we go.
And this is what's neat. Billy Crystal and John Goodman are both going to be back.
That's perfect.
And that's why, because when they say, like, oh, we're doing this and we're going to have these characters in it. Yeah, but are you really? Yeah, they're going to be here. Okay,
That's
good.
cool.
I'm in.
Oh,
Yeah. It's going to be based on a new employee at Monsters Inc. And it's going to, so it's going to follow this story and everything. I thought, okay, cool.
Cool.
I'm here for that.
Yeah. It's awesome.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Netflix, their Cowboy Bebop live action series got John Cho to star in it.
Smart.
So but I thought, okay, all right, let's do this then. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
A little, some divisive and then some really strange video game news we had this week. Or last couple weeks. I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah.
They announced Borderlands 3. It comes out September 13th, and people are up in arms because it's a timed Epic Store exclusive when it comes to PC.
Oh yeah.
I mean, people lost their damn minds over this, and I don't get it because I'm not a PC guy, I guess. I don't understand why this is a tremendously massive deal. I don't.
That it's going to be exclusive to the Epic Store.
Yeah, can you
I
explain
think
this
people
one to
got.
me?
Well, I mean, with Steam, you get so used to all of your games being in one place. So
Okay.
now they're just completely spread all over. I don't know. Now you got the Blizzard app. You guys, it's just. I don't know. I don't know why it's such a big deal to people. It's not to me at all. I know that if I buy World of Warcraft, it's going to be in the Blizzard app. Epic's store is just another store. I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
Not sure.
Yeah, I just saw people were losing their shit over this. I just thought, okay,
This was the most bizarre announcement. You saw the guy doing magic, right?
yeah.
The one that's like, I don't even know why they put him out there. He's the one that's like has all of these potential, court cases against him.
Yeah.
Like, this was the most bizarre showing I've ever seen.
And it didn't go well.
Oh no, yeah,
Either.
no, they played the trailer like 4 or 5 times, and God, it was just such a bizarre disaster. It was so cringy. I didn't get it. I don't understand.
No,
He said, let's do another magic trick. I'm not creepy. Fucking hey. Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. Nothing's gonna it's gonna take a lot to top Mr. Caffeine, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's true.
And then Microsoft, I guess just today, actually announced officially their all digital Xbox One S. That should say
Yep.
S. Why does that say X in the notes? That would make less sense. It's available for pre-order. It comes out May 7th. And then everything else about this sucks. Because it's 1 terabyte for $250.
Jesus.
You do know that if you order right now any Xbox One S bundle, Xbox One S that has the disc drive, they are all 1 terabyte. They come with whatever game it is that they come with, and they're $250.
It just doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't, especially because they made a big deal about announcing, and it comes preloaded with Sea of Thieves, Forza Horizon 3, and Minecraft. Those games are already on Xbox Game Pass.
Right. You can get a PlayStation right now for the exact same price. Like,
yeah, I don't.
It's not competitive. Make it $200.
Yeah, this is the exact. You're losing the disc drive, but it's the exact same price as the model that has it.
It makes no sense.
It does not make any sense whatsoever. I mean, I guess it's because maybe they're phasing out the ones that have disc drives, but I still don't understand. And not just the ones that have disc drives, but the ones that come with an actual full game. I mean, I'm talking about the bundles with things like The Division 2 and shit.
Right.
Like, not like antique bundles, but I mean with The Division or with NBA 2K or any of these bundles.
Oh
and
yeah,
and I
this
just
makes no sense.
no,
This
it doesn't, because it's preloaded with stuff that's on Game Pass. It's not like, and we gave you these games extra. No,
right.
they're stuff you can get.
Yeah, this is. I mean, Microsoft's been making a lot of great moves,
Yeah,
and this is definitely not one of them.
this was not one of them. No, there I
Especially at what they're going to be a year away from a new console.
yeah.
But what is this such a
If they had dropped this at $199 instead of $249, I would have said ball game for
yeah.
sure.
Okay, that makes sense. But oh boy,
I don't know, man.
yeah, no, doesn't make any sense at all to me. Especially when you go pick up a PlayStation for the exact same price.
Right.
An Xbox for the same price. It has the disc drive, has all that good stuff. You can play Blu-rays. It just doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I
Yep.
don't know. There was some interesting news before we get into some of the bigger stuff that happened this week. Did you see that they're doing Letterkenny Live?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, God, it's well, now it's 6 shows. It was 3, but they're doing 2 shows at each place. They're in New York and Chicago, I think, and Minneapolis.
That's crazy.
If I remember that right, I know it was New York and Minneapolis. I think the third one's in Chicago. It's in June, and I was like, okay. I mean, do your thing.
Right.
But I don't know. It's weird to me.
Yeah.
But oh well, hey, it's got an American fan base. Go for it. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see the information Sony dropped?
No, what did they drop?
The first details of the PlayStation 5?
No, did they announce when they'll be announcing details, or did they announce details?
No, they announced details. Let me see if I
Okay.
can pull from this article. I'll send you the information.
Yeah, what do we get?
Let me get the oh boy. All right, hold on. Now I'm on the spot. All right, hold on. Put on my own spot. Let's see here.
Yep.
As expected, PlayStation 5 will have more powerful specs, blah, 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 blah. Let's
No,
see here.
you're kidding.
Yeah, they went into...
Alright, what do we have?
Let's see here. Okay.
Ooh, it's going to come with a solid state drive. That's nice.
Yes, solid state drive. Let's see here. What's it? Resin line. AMD's Resin line contains 8 cores of the company's new ZNM Zen 2, microarchitecture. Just a bunch of gibberish. But basically, they went over some of the tech specs that it's going to have in it. It says audio improvements will be a big focus. Wired continue while ray tracing is a primary use for graphics. He noted that it can be audio benefits as well. So I guess they're going to have ray tracing in it, which is huge because that's what PC's starting to get into now.
Yeah.
They didn't give any more details about PlayStation 5 VR capabilities, but it did note that VR is very important to us. They basically gave some tech specs about it. They talked to Wired magazine, I guess, today.
Sure, it makes sense.
Yeah. So, it's just some details. It's basically what we're expecting. The SSD seems neat, but man, I hope it comes with 2 terabytes, but that's going to seem kind of impossible.
Yeah, that's going to be pricey because solid state drives are still fairly expensive, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It's got backwards compatibility, which is a no-brainer.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm definitely gonna get it. I fucking love my PlayStation, but I'm excited to hear more probably later this year whenever they announce it officially.
Yeah, it'll be I was gonna say it'll be E3, but it won't be E3 because they're not at E3. It'll be at the Sony Direct around E3 time.
I'm curious what the price is gonna be. My guess is probably $500 at launch.
It's yeah, man, and
it's got to be with SSD drive.
I mean, yeah, which is, that's a little high anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, with that kind of those kind of cards and everything in it, I don't see how they can not. 400 would be kind of low. I don't know. I hope it's 400. That'd be great. But
It kind of.
maybe they have two different versions where they're like, here's the one with all this fancy stuff, and here's the not. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do.
I mean, you could get away. Give me a terabyte version at 4 and a 2 at 5, and I'll concede that point.
Yeah.
Like I think you could get away with that.
Yeah.
But that's anything else, and you're pushing it. Like if 500 is still a high price tag.
Yeah.
I mean, four is kind of your sweet spot.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know.
I mean, a 2 terabyte SSD card is $230.
Yeesh.
Yeah. So I don't know how they're gonna. I don't know how they're gonna do that.
What's a 1 priced at?
Let me pull up Newegg here. Let's see here. 2 terabyte internal SSD card is $229.
Okay.
I don't know if they have one. Let me do one here.
Yeah, because that's what I'd be curious to see.
$150.
I think you can make a 400 for that.
Oh man, with that card alone is worth $500.
Well,
I don't know how they're gonna do that.
They're
definitely gonna be, they're gonna be losing money on their consoles.
Yeah, but aren't they always?
They always are. You're right. Oh boy, it's just.
I think you get away with, and I think that's why the markup. What did you say the 2 was? 200 something?
250. Well, I mean, 119 is the cheapest for the 1 terabyte. Regularly 150.
Okay.
And then the 2 terabyte is basically an extra $100.
Okay, so I think
So that's how you get the 400, 500 probably.
Yeah, I think you can do 1 terabyte at 4 and 2 at 5. I think you get away with that.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Whew. So look forward to hearing more about that later this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Give me a Game of Thrones game. Ugh. Why is it not? Why does it exist?
I mean, they did try. They failed miserably, but they tried.
They failed. Yeah, there was the PlayStation 3 one.
Yeah.
And then the Telltale game, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I want an actual RPG. Damn it. Or a strategy game.
You want BioWare's Game of Thrones, essentially.
Yes.
A
strategy game, just like a straight up RTS or something.
I'd be good with that, like a Westwood Studios Game of Thrones game. Sure. Yeah,
absolutely. A Civ game would be perfect. Oh my god, to manage the farms and the people and all the drama going on and the different kingdoms and the different houses.
Yeah.
There's literally thousands and thousands of different things you could put in there. I don't know. Ugh. I don't know. It's annoying. But let's see here. Yeah, let's what else we got here?
We finally got the details for Disney Plus that we wanted.
Yes.
The big ones, we talked about some of the series that they announced and everything, but we got the launch date for November 12th.
Yes.
Which makes sense. And then, boy, with the library that they're going to have and the content that they're going to have, they came out swinging with this price point.
Yeah, it's no brainer.
Nah, they said, Netflix, we see what you're doing, and we're going to cut you in half.
Yep.
Basically. $6.99 a month or $7 a month or $70 for a year.
Yeah.
That's big.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what it has to be.
Yep.
I think they could have gotten away with another $1 or $2 more. I think they could have gone 10 at the highest.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know a lot of people were saying they would pay 15, but I think that would have been too high. I think 10 would have been like okay, you're starting to push it because we know this will go up at some point, but we're okay with this price point. But damn, to come out at $7 a month, that's big.
Oh yeah,
that's a big swing.
And they announced a whole bunch of stuff. Like, what was it? There was the Monsters at Work.
Yeah.
There was the Toy Story 4 spinoff.
Oh yeah, they got like the little because it's what, like a live action. It was basically like the Pixar short, wasn't it?
It was a Forksy Asks a Question.
Yeah.
It's called. There was the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Which is the reboot show. The Muppets Live Another Day.
Yeah.
Be Our Chef. It's Disney version of a cooking show. High School Musical, the musical series.
Yeah, that one I know we knew about.
The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
That one is gonna be awesome. Like, I can't wait for
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, an untitled Kasan Andor series, which is the Star Wars one.
Cassian Andor.
Cassian,
yeah. It's the Rogue One prequel series.
Yes, Diary of a Female President. And Star Wars Clone Wars.
Yeah.
What is it? The final season, or they're only going to do one season, right?
Yeah, it's just I think it's just one more season.
And of course, The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Which is all at launch, or Mandalorian at least is at launch. I know that, right?
Yeah, that one I think is going to be at launch. I don't know about the other Star Wars stuff. I know a lot of these are expected to be at launch, I think.
Right.
But I mean, that's a pretty sizable. I mean, you could have launched it really just off the strength of their library alone.
Yes.
Yeah. But to have not just and not just to have any series, but to have, here's our next Disney series, here's a Star Wars series.
Yep.
And to say here's some Marvel series that are coming down the pike. They're not messing around.
Oh, they're really not. I mean, honestly, The Mandalorian looks like it's the same quality as anything you'd get on HBO.
Yeah.
Have you seen the clips or anything from the show?
I haven't. No.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It is dripping with old school OG Star Wars stuff.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's got, and I'm gonna butcher his name. He's from Game of Thrones. What's his name? Let me pull it up. Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's playing the Mandalorian.
Right.
It's got Carl Weathers.
Yeah, he's playing like the head of a bounty hunters guild or something.
Head of a bounty hunters guild. Yeah. The whole thing looks like a Western, which is exactly what we've been saying we kind of wanted. It showed the Mandalorian going up and wanting to get bounties, and he's like, I'll take all of them. And he's like, that's not how this works. There's other bounty hunters. Like, I can't give you everything. And he's like, what's the highest one? He tells him the highest one. He's like, that's not even enough for gas. He's like, well, there is this other thing, but it's complicated. He goes all into it. And so he goes and gets the bounty, and it's just, dude, where do I begin? And also the guy from Breaking Bad isn't the bad guy from like the later half of the series. Oh man, hold on. I'm gonna butcher his name.
What, the guy who played Gus?
Gus, yes.
Okay.
Yes. He's in it. He's kind of the bad guy.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so in Return of the Jedi, the little creature that sits on Jabba the Hutt's tail.
Yeah.
So he's walking through the Tatooine's market or whatever, and basically it's one of those is being slow roasted over a fire, and then another one is in the cage watching it. He's like, oh no, it's just there's all that little stuff from Return of the Jedi, and there's Jawas. They show IG-88. They show him spinning and shooting everything in sight.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, yeah, because you think how could this robot be dangerous? And it shows his head staying still and his body just rotating and firing and shooting everything in sight.
Yeah, it's because he's a badass. That's how he's dangerous.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Nice.
They showed them running two-backs. If you're an old OG Star Wars fan and maybe you're not too happy with the prequels or with some of the newer movies, but you're in love with the OG stuff, this is for you.
Right. This sounds kind of like the Tales from the Cantina series that people would have wanted.
Exactly. This is exactly what that is. The cantina that he walks into, it's straight up from A New Hope, but I don't think it's the same one. But you could tell maybe this was a few blocks down the street. Right.
This they all have that same every outlaw bar has that same kind of vibe.
Oh yeah, he knocks on a door and the eye thing pops out and opens up, and then the walking droid starts walking back. It's so OG Star Wars, and
nice.
It's that time period is so classic, and a lot of that's missing from the newer ones. The newer ones obviously are set in a different time frame, so there's newer stuff, and it has a different gloss to it.
Yeah.
Where that is set in that time period, and it's perfect. It's like if Spielberg went back and made a movie set in the same time period as E.T. or something.
Excellent.
But yeah, I could not. That's probably the most exciting thing I'm excited for moving forward. I'm more excited for The Mandalorian than I am for Episode 9, and I'm fucking pumped for Episode 9. That trailer, man. We should talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you think of the Rise of the Skywalker? Now, apparently, this is gonna be like I saw somewhere online. I don't know if it's true or not, but it could be close to 4-hour long movie.
No, it
Runtime.
won't be. It'll be 2.5 at most.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's what a rumor is. I don't know.
No, it's not. It's not even gonna be 3 hours because it's just not. It's gonna be 2.5 tops.
Yeah.
Maybe slightly over that at most. It's not even gonna be Endgame where it's like we're capping off this thing, so it has to be. We have to have the epicness of the length of it. 2.5 hours is plenty.
Right.
It's fine. I get why they're doing it with Endgame because it's, I understand the idea behind, Episode 9 brings this entire saga to a close, so it's going to be this.
Oh, you know what? I see what happened. J.J. Abrams made a joke about it could be anywhere between 5 minutes to 4 hours. That's what they're pulling for. 90 minutes is probably the.
No,
Let's
2.5.
Let's see here.
Be 150 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'm getting different things. Says right now it's 90 minutes because we're not done editing yet.
What?
I don't know.
What?
That seems short, right?
Yeah, it's an hour and a half.
Yeah. No.
No.
Every site that I'm saying, I guess, is taking his original quote with Rise of the Skywalker may be the longest LucasArts film ever.
Well, sure, I can understand, but I mean that could just be by a minute,
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, no, I hope it's long. I hope it's really long. I hope it's. Oh man, I hope it's 3 hours.
No,
closing off the Skywalker saga.
I don't think you need 3 hours to do that. I think you can do 2.5 and do it well.
Well, the stuff they're teasing. The laugh.
God, I was in on that trailer. I was like, this is great. This is a fantastic teaser. I like they've done a little of this, a little of that. Okay, cool. I like this. And then to hear Palpatine's laugh at the end, like, I almost went through the ceiling.
Oh,
it's like, holy hell.
Like, how are they? What I thought was really cool is all of our heroes are together.
Yes.
This isn't them in separate adventures like the last film. They're all together, and that's awesome. What I'm just. How do you set that up with the Emperor stuff? If he truly is back.
Well, and here's the thing: when they did talk to Ian McDiarmid later on at the Episode 1 anniversary panel, he did make very clear to state the Emperor is dead, like unequivocally. He died in Episode 6,
right?
But we know that Obi-Wan Kenobi died and Yoda died. And Qui-Gon Jinn died, and everybody who we've seen as a Force ghost is dead. But that doesn't always mean, that's the end of them.
Luke's dead may never die. So yeah, absolutely. So there are ways the Sith was obsessed with living forever. Right?
Yes, and what I think is that it's like what happened with I cannot remember which Sith Lord it was who kind of kickstarted a lot of the Old Republic troubles because he was a Force ghost locked inside a ruin. I can't. Oh God, I keep wanting to say Darth Bane, but I don't think but that's not right. It was somebody else. But I think that's what we're going to see is Palpatine as this kind of Sith Force ghost tied to the ruin of this Death Star.
I don't think he'll be a ghost. I think the ghost stuff is purely Jedi stuff. Because that was the trick that they were able to live on past. They were able to essentially get what the Sith wanted, but they had to give up. They died.
Right, but I think that the idea that only the Jedi found it. I think that we will see this. I think that the way
You don't think it's a clone or anything like that, like what they
no.
did in the comics,
I
or
think it's the same thing the Jedi can do, but a corrupted version of it.
I'm
Because
curious.
he's
I'm curious what they do.
because he's Sith. I think he'll have found a way to transcend the physical, but it'll be a corrupted, distorted kind of idea.
Yeah. Now,
Um,
what do you think the Rise of Skywalker means?
I'm curious to see what you think, because I've got a very like fully formed idea of what I think, but I want to hear what you think.
Well, I mean, you know, I've heard a whole bunch of different things. Like, this could be, you know, the obvious that Rey's the Skywalker and the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
Um, Other not so obvious is that that the Jedi are done, and that moving forward they'll mostly be called the Skywalker. Like, you're a Skywalker.
that's my
instead
favorite
of being,
theory.
like, you're a Jedi.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of interesting.
I like the idea of the Jedi not being. I think Skywalker becoming the word that supplants Jedi, essentially. Like,
Right.
that's the title of it now. You're not Jedi anymore, because they're not. It planted the seeds when at the end of The Last Jedi, with the little kid telling the story. He didn't tell the story about a Jedi Knight. He told the story about Luke Skywalker.
Right.
And I think that's kind of where it's going to come from, is that, you know, they look at the galaxy and they think, oh, well, who was, you know, we heard the story of you know, Luke Skywalker destroyed the Death Star, Anakin Skywalker killed the Emperor, you know,
Right.
and that's what it's going to be. It's going to become a title now. It's
Right.
not going to be and I think I think that explains it dovetails nicely with The Last Jedi, because Rey
Right.
will be the last to be a quote unquote Jedi. And
Well, what if did you ever read the comics where it came to Palpatine? Some of the newer comics, and like the connection he has with the Skywalkers,
no,
that he essentially created Anakin, that he manipulated the midichlorians within Anakin's mother. There's a comic book panel. I'll try and find it.
I remember like I remember the because that kind of stems from the discussion in episode 2
Right.
with them
Yes.
talking about that. But I think that I'm curious. I don't know if it was Palpatine that did that or his master. That
Well,
might
maybe
have
he
done
was no. It was Palpatine. I remember in the comic
that. Okay.
that I see in the thing, it says there was no father, a natural, the chosen one, and it basically shows him as like manipulating the midichlorians within her to birth Anakin. So technically, it would be Palpatine's line. These are the Skywalkers, and the theory is, what if Rey is the same thing? That technically she's the same thing Anakin was. So technically she would be the Skywalker.
Okay. I get where you're going with that.
I thought that was kind of interesting. That would be a cool twist or something in the movie. I have no idea. But that would be a cool way to connect Palpatine to Anakin and to her if they found all of that out. Like, oh shit, this guy did this and did this. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. There's some things in the trailer that stuck out. There's a shadow of like a straight up ship from Empire Strikes Back in it, which I thought was cool. I've been scouring the internet on this video, and it's not from the newer stuff. It's definitely from the older stuff. What do you think of Thrawn being in this movie?
I think that Thrawn exists in the different part of this universe. I think that Thrawn, if he's in this movie, will not be essential.
Yeah.
Because that requires too much outside knowledge.
Well, I mean, yes, it would get a big pop from the fans.
Exactly.
It would be a lot to explain.
Yeah.
Oh, I looked up, by the way. It's a Ventator class Star Destroyer that they show in it. Essentially from the Clone Wars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, here's the thing. Like, that's a thing that would be a neat It would pop the hardcore fans, and you could have it done in a way that makes sense, but
Right.
he would have to be a mention or a tertiary character at best.
Right. 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 I also thought was cool that made me originally just, or just not originally, but it made me immediately think of the art book is when they show the Death Star in the ocean,
Yeah.
and that's straight up from the art of the Force Awakens. Like there's panels of artwork where it shows who was originally Jana, I guess, or whoever the main character was when they were originally plotting this out of the original, the Force Awakens, where she doesn't get the lightsaber the way she did in the movie. And the original concept was she was sent on a quest to go get the lightsaber, or to go get a map. I'm sorry, a map within the throne room of the Death Star. And so they go underwater with the Millennium Falcon. She gets out of the ship, goes into the throne room, and finds this map. And I think the map was to go find the lightsaber or something like that. I forget. I got to pull out the book. But the artwork is straight up from that.
Yeah.
So you can tell that they use some of the concept and whatnot from it to kind of bring it back, which is cool. It's going to be interesting.
And that's where I think that I think that's where the deal with Palpatine comes in.
Yeah.
Is that I think that it is that his Force Ghost, his Sith corrupted Force Ghost, is going to be tied to that place.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So, man, I hope if we get a Force Ghost from him, I hope we get one from Anakin as well. That'd be really cool.
And that it would be neat to see for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm excited, man. I'm fucking pumped. It looks great. It got me, it got me excited. I can't wait to go see this at the end of the year a million times.
Yeah.
And to dive heavily back into it and get the art book and all that other stuff. I hope now we can really explore this time frame now that these 3 movies are going to be done with. I hope we get a ton of comics and books and all that other stuff from this time frame where they can flesh it out a lot more.
Yeah.
And TV shows and all that other stuff. Now, it's open. And they announced next year, it'll be in Anaheim.
Yeah, Star Wars Celebration.
Yep, Star Wars Celebration. So, I think by then we'll get probably some announcements of what the guys from Game of Thrones are going to be working on. Because after this, we don't really what's next.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. We just know that Rian Johnson has got a series of movies that he wants to work on. We know the Game of Thrones guys do, but that's about it. Those are really the only official things. They previously announced they had people working on some other projects, but they were kind of put on hold, like the Obi-Wan or the Boba Fett and whatnot.
Well, the Boba Fett one is dead. We know that.
Right. We know that's dead. But I guess what I'm saying is that those are really the only 2 projects we know of that are still moving forward. Is the Game of Thrones guys and Rian Johnson. But yeah. So I'm pumped. I'm excited. This got me excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. What were some other things from the show? Let's see here.
Well, I mean, they showed and let's not forget Dio. Well,
Dio.
Yeah, BB-8's new buddy.
Oh, I must have missed that part of the panel.
Oh yeah, looks like a duck.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. There was some weird little. I saw the creature that they said that Chewbacca brought into the fold, which is a cool looking slug thing.
Yeah.
And of course Lando, looking like he's having a fucking blast.
Lando I loved Billy D. Williams on the panel when they asked him, was it difficult, finding Lando again after, decades later. And I love that he just looked across and he just said, Lando never left.
Right. That was probably the best quote from
Yeah. Because, it was just Billy D. Williams. It wasn't, I don't believe that was a character in the slightest.
Oh, yeah.
At all.
No, yeah, no, definitely not. Yeah, it's definitely him. Yeah, man. The whole trailer too kind of felt like J.J. Abrams, like the last film was, kill the past, like let all this die.
Yeah.
It's almost like JJ's like, well, hold on, let's get the Palpatine back in there. Let's get let's get Lando back in there. Let's glue the mask back together. Let's have a little bit of fun with these toys before we're done with them. But I thought that was kind of cool.
Well, and I mean, you wonder if if that wasn't like some kind of desperation of like you have to kill the past, you have to get rid of the past, you have to escape the past, and this is
Right.
kind of a way of saying you don't kill the past. You find ways to celebrate it and embrace it, but move forward at the same time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that's what we're gonna see.
Yeah, I do too. I'm glad they're all back together. I'm glad we're having a film where they're all gonna be on an adventure.
Yeah.
We got a lot of throwback stuff, which I love. And I'm curious to see what the Star Wars universe looks like after this film. What directions do they go in? That's fascinating. I can't wait for that. But yeah, man, we got some look on. We also got to look at the game, Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, they had a cinematic trailer, which I figure with a game that's going to come out in November, because he announced this November 15th, I would have loved to have seen some gameplay.
I agree.
I really would have.
That EA, it's like they create a problem, and then they're like, well, there's going to be no multiplayer, no microtransaction, full story. I saw the Amy, what's Amy...
Hennig.
The woman who...
Hennig.
Hennig, yeah. She was like, well, wait a second. Where was this enthusiasm when I was making my game?
Yeah. I love the way she put it. Like, she's really excited for this, for Respawn. She's super happy for them. But at the same token, she was like, but, kind of fuck you guys. Because, like, remember when you didn't do this for me?
Yeah, and I was like, well, wait a second. No multiplayer. That's not like a plus. I would love multiplayer.
I wouldn't. No, I am perfectly fine with this being a fairly linear single player story experience with nothing else. That's what I want.
Sure.
I don't want multiplayer. I don't need any of that. Especially with the kind of game they're promising, where it's like, no, it is fully story driven. We focused a ton on lightsaber combat because, let's be honest, that's one of the single coolest things about Star Wars.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you have games like the Jedi Outcast, Jedi Knight 2, Dark Forces. You have all these great story-driven games that had a multiplayer on it too that was just as good.
Yeah.
That was in a day where it wasn't like, let's get microtransaction, let's get all this. They were like, no, we built a great game. We can also build a multiplayer version out of this too. I don't know. I'm not complaining. I see what they're going for. But I hope this isn't a 8-hour game. I don't know. I hope it's something more akin to like God of War, I guess, if it's just going to be single player only.
But no, man, I hear you. Like a bigger like God of War style game, in the sense of what that was. It just in terms of like,
I don't want them to get the wrong ideas about what people were upset with about Battlefront 2. It's not that it had multiplayer. It's just that that's all it was.
Right. Well, here's the thing. You thought they'd learn that lesson from the first one. And that was why they put in the story mode in 2, but it was little more than tacked on at best.
Here's what I think realistically happened. EA said, we don't have time for you to add multiplayer.
No, I don't buy that.
We got to get a game out now.
I don't believe that for a second because it's
that's what was reported. EA said that they needed a game out immediately, not 2020, not 2021. They needed a game out this Christmas.
That
was what was reported.
I don't buy it. I don't think that EA
Respawn was told you had to have a game out this year.
I don't buy it though. I don't believe that was because Respawn had two teams. You had one team working on Apex and one working on Fallen Order. Mm-hmm. And I don't think for a minute that EA went to Respawn and just said, okay, you've got half a game, that's good, finish that and that'll be the end of it.
So what did they tell BioWare? It was the same thing.
I think they
told BioWare that it had to have been out. Anthem had to have been out by this month.
Yeah, and look how well that turned out for him.
That's what I mean.
No, I don't buy it. I don't. For as much as I can't stand EA, and as stupid as they have clearly shown themselves to be, I don't. The results don't line
I'm
up.
gonna see if I can find the article that, because
Yeah,
it was basically them saying that it was I believe it was in the Kotaku interview that Jason did, and it was talking about the different projects they had running, and they essentially canned the last one, because the one up in
the one that Visceral was doing.
Visceral was doing, because it couldn't come out in time, and that they were telling Respawn they had to have a game out, by 2019, by 2020 essentially, um, and that's all the news we had on it, is that they needed a game out fast by 2020 to be in time for the movie. I can't find the article. I just remember reading this a while ago. Um, I don't know. I'm not going to try and look it up right now. Spend any more time doing it, but I hope that's not it. I hope you're right. I hope that the case is that they were able to make a great single player game, but I want to see it. I want to see what it looks like. I hated the way Jedi felt in Battlefront. I hope it's not like that.
Agreed.
Yeah, I hope it's more feeling like, Apex Legends and stuff like that. The smooth, way smoother, or like Titanfall.
It looks well, and here was the thing that actually kind of got me excited because even though it was a cinematic trailer, he wall runs in it.
Yeah,
And I thought that says to me Respawn did what they do.
right.
And I'm good with that. I think that EA has wisely left Respawn pretty much alone,
Okay.
and they're seeing now how that's paying off. I
Yeah.
mean, Apex came out and has made all of the money, especially for being a free game,
Yes.
and they had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Anthem came out and they had everything to do with it, crawling up BioWare's ass the whole way about it, and it tanked
Yeah.
epically. And so I think that EA is at least in the short term, because if we've learned anything about video game companies, they tend not to really learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
It's that for the short term, they'll back off and let the developers actually make the games and stick to publishing them.
I hope. I just have no faith in
But
EA.
it's no, because I mean, we see Activision is going back to its old roots, where they came
Yeah.
out. They came out what a couple weeks ago and said, "Hey guys, we made more money this past quarter than we thought. We made more than we ever have. That's why we're letting hundreds of you go."
Yep.
That's some bullshit. That's just straight up grade A. You are running this company into the ground garbage,
Yep.
and they all ought to be ashamed of themselves.
I agree.
But
Yeah, man.
so I mean, these things happen in cycles.
Yeah.
I think that in the short term, EA has learned and will showcase that they have learned.
Hmm.
But get back to me in 10 years, and
Yeah.
we'll see what's happened. But
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
But I'm excited. The premise sounds neat. The gameplay trailer looked really cool.
Yeah,
This time frame looks pretty neat. I don't know why I'm not as excited as I guess I feel so burned.
I get
Um,
that. I completely understand.
feel so fucking burned, and we'll see. I've mentioned this a million times. The Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast is my favorite Star Wars game. And I just don't see anything like that coming out. And I thought this might have been it, but no, multiplayer is like, well, it'll be a fun single player, but I don't know. The excitement kind of, and maybe it's just me. I'm just being super, I don't know. But that kind of took the wind out of my sails. So we'll see, though. I'm still excited for it. I still want a good single player game. But we'll see coming out moving forward.
Yeah.
I just want EA to lose a license. Let some other studios play with it. Let Bethesda play with it. Let someone else play with it. Let maybe some of these indie studios play with the Star Wars license. I want some games on the Switch. I want some games on the PlayStation, on the PC. I want it all. I want to be excited about 3 Star Wars games a year. You know what I mean? 2 or 3, not one every other year, and it's just EA's behind it. So Respawn, I have a lot more faith in, but it's still, I don't know. We'll see.
I think I think this one will work out.
Yeah, I hope it does. But yeah. I know we didn't talk about it earlier, but they showed a lot of the Clone Wars season 7 stuff, and a lot of it had to do with the Order. What was it? Order 16? What was it?
66.
Yeah. So there's a lot. Not Order. I'm sorry. What was the game that was canceled?
Oh, 1313. Yeah.
1313.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Yeah, they showed like Ahsoka is actually gonna have to like navigate that and everything.
yes, that was really cool. What I found the most fascinating about Celebration was not even those panels. It was the behind the scenes stuff for episode 1.
Yeah.
The art and stuff like that, and how, the CGI and how it all came together. That is fascinating to me.
It is. It really is, and especially when you consider what they, love episode 1 or hate it, the cinematic work
Yes.
that went into it was groundbreaking in so many ways. It was insane.
How is there not a TV channel where it's just all behind the scenes of movies and TV shows?
Probably rights issues.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. That would be such a fascinating channel. I would watch that all day long.
Yeah. Oh,
just
too.
you would take every behind the scenes on any DVD and Blu-ray that's ever been done, and put it on and like we're gonna have Lord of the Rings tonight and Star Wars theme for this week, and man, that would Game of Thrones this week. Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably all rights issues, but that would be a fascinating channel. Because I would eat that up all day long. Them making props and sets. If you've never seen behind the scenes for Star Wars, especially for episode 1, there was a ton of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those panels were probably my favorite. But yeah, it was a big celebration. They're not skipping a year. They'll be back next year. Hopefully, they'll be back in Orlando soon. That'd be pretty cool.
Probably in 2022.
Yeah. I'm thinking whenever the Star Wars stuff opens up here, so they can get everyone over to Disney.
What's next? That's next year.
It's next year. Yeah, I'm thinking like you said, 2021 or whenever the next one is after Anaheim.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a celebration.
They were
I
fun.
had some friends that went.
One of my favorite things that I heard was from the Mandalorian panel, where they talked about all the extras that they had on set, and they realized they needed more stormtroopers, but they didn't have enough armor.
Yes.
So they called the fucking 501st.
Oh, that's the other thing. Dave Filoni is like he's part showrunner, I guess, for the Mandalorian.
Yeah, and so
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and so they just showed up and they were on screen, and then when they left, now like the armor that they made themselves and did their own things with, that was for all intents and purposes, it was just their own cosplay stuff, professional grade and all this, because it was the 501st. I mean, come on. But it was still just fan stuff. Now they get to go home and say, no, my armor is canon.
Yep.
Like
oh yeah.
Like, it's screen worn. Like, this is a legitimate prop now.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's badass.
It's crazy. It's so awesome. Well, hey, I know a few guys. And he gives them a call. That's so cool.
Calling the 5 cuts. It's awesome. Like, I love that. I thought that was so cool.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. But yeah, that was pretty much it from Celebration. I'm excited for all things Star Wars to come. I'm gonna dive into the Master and Apprentice book, and I don't know, man. I'm excited, and I'm glad that the game is dropping literally the week of the movie.
No, a month before.
Is it a month before?
Star Wars.
Oh, you're right. It's November. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
I go home and I get to play a Star Wars game.
There you go. Play that for a month and then go see the movie.
There you go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's how you do it. You get it right around that same time period. Because when once you see the movie, you're like, I gotta do something. I gotta read a book. I gotta do something. That's perfect. But that's about it, man. You want to talk about? Oh, we got a big one. We got Mania. Do you want to talk about Shazam or Mania first?
Let's do Mania and then we'll do our spoiler stuff after.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
What did you overall? What did you think about Mania this year?
Well, I had kind of an emergency. I had to leave about halfway through it. So I was spoiled about a lot of other things. But I liked it what I saw.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
It was fun. It was really well this card was really well organized.
Yeah.
I mean the
Probably one of the best manias I've seen in a long time.
it is one of the best in a while. Like no question.
Yeah.
I mean not perfect. It had some issues. It had
Right.
some fairly large issues, but there've been far worse over the last few years.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, we had the poor cruiserweights can't catch a break, man.
Yeah.
They just can't catch a break. But I mean, Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy put on a showcase for the cruiserweights. They really went out there and were like, okay, you want to put us on the pre-show? You want to remind everybody, oh yeah, we're not watching the cruiserweights even though they're a thing. They went out there and showed why you should be. And I'm telling you, anybody who's not watching 205 Live, you've got to.
Yeah.
Because it's week in and week out, just fantastic.
Yeah.
And Murphy finally losing the title. It was time. He's had it for long enough. The women's battle royal was a curious affair.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like a lot of battle royals, and we saw it with the Andre the Giant one too. Sloppy in a lot of parts. I really, really would have loved for Sarah Logan to have actually won it. I don't know that Carmella really needed it. But I mean, I get it. They're up in and around her neck of the woods, so I don't know. Good for her, I guess. The Raw tag titles. I mean, of course, the Edgeheads won it.
Yeah.
So it was well done though. I mean, I wasn't crazy about it, but it was. Well
I thought
done.
that was great.
The match was good. The match was good, and I enjoyed the result. Like good for Hawkins and Ryder because they're not doing anything else. But
Well, it was hey, how do we keep you here instead of going to AEW?
Yeah, so they screw over the Revival, who have not been that well utilized since being called up from NXT to begin with.
Right.
I got to be honest with you, man. I would if this was a case of keeping talent happy, they kept the wrong ones happy.
Well, that was them keeping them happy a few months ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. And then the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I just, I was terrified towards the end. I was absolutely terrified that Colin was gonna walk away with it.
Right.
I was legitimately worried they were actually gonna do that.
Yeah.
But obvious booking was obvious, and they got there in a way that you could tell. Even the arena was just like, "You're not going to do this. You're not going to. Oh my god, I think they're actually going to do this."
Right.
But I mean, of course, Braun won it. It means nothing because this battle royal has never meant anything at all.
Oh, and it's just a waste of Braun.
It is because but
he needs to get his shit together. Whatever behind the stage stuff is going on, get it together.
Right. And then we started the show proper with Alexa Bliss coming out and snapping her fingers, and behold, a wild racist appears. And, basically
Did
does...
you see Big E's tweet?
I did, and I respect that,
Yeah.
That's what that was all about, was respect, and fine. If they are slowly making this water under the bridge...
That's the stuff I care about. The behind the scenes stuff is way more important than him coming out and going, "I'm Hulk Hogan."
Yeah,
I hope there's more of that. I hope there's publicly a lot more of that. They got to get behind that. He can't just come out every once in a while and go, "Hey, I'm Hulk Hogan."
Yeah.
It's like, do some charity, do something. Like I want to see you be a better person, not just hear it from other people.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Agreed. No, totally.
Yeah, like if this is what we're going to be given, do something positive with it.
Yeah.
Don't just make it a hey, I'm Hulk Hogan, I'm going to Saudi Arabia. Like, no. Let's see some charity. Let's see some, I don't know. Let's see you making a conscious effort of being a better person.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But so he came out and did his thing, and then with magnificent timing, out comes Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
and just does not give a damn what's going
Yeah.
on around him. Actually brushed by Hogan as he walked past him. Just
Right.
didn't even look, did nothing. Just straight down to the ring.
Yeah, that was
And as
cool.
soon as Paul Heyman walked out, I thought, oh my god, they're doing this first.
Yeah.
Like, I lost my mind. I was like, they're really going to do this first.
Well,
And
that immediately made me think, oh my god, they're spreading them out.
yeah, which was
They're
great.
spreading out.
It was
Yeah.
perfect. And I loved, Paul gave the greatest storyline reason for it. It played to what everybody already thinks
perfect.
about Brock. So it's like, well, if he can't be the main event, then we're not sticking around for this crap. Let's get this over
We're gonna get on a
with.
plane. Let's get this over with.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a little tired of Brock only being able to get beat when he gets hit in the nuts. Like, it's so overdone.
It is.
It's so outdated. Like, the only, you can't beat him any other way. Like, it has to start with that. I mean, hell, that was how The Undertaker beat him,
Right.
But, whatever, fine. They Lesnar squashed Rollins before they actually got in the ring. Ref bump, low blow, 3 stomps, new Universal Champ. Great. The right result. I'm glad this nightmare is over. It's done. Brock can go do whatever. It's great. Bye. See you later. Don't ever put a title on him again. He wants to come back, let him come back, but don't put a title on him again.
Right.
Um,
Put him on SmackDown.
Yeah, man. Oh god, that's tonight too. Yeah. We can
did you see who's on it now?
No, don't tell me
I won't
nothing.
spoil it,
Tell me nothing. I have some ideas, and I'm probably right, but I don't want to. I'll watch it later.
Yeah. Oh man, a mosquito just got me. Sorry, I just got bit by a mosquito.
That's unfortunate.
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna be itching. All right, keep going.
And then we had Styles and Orton, which was a solid match, and I loved all the little callbacks to how many different ways Randy Orton can RKO somebody.
Right.
It was great. It was the right result, AJ going over.
Yeah.
They got there in a fun way. Banged the hell out of his hip, apparently.
Yeah.
But he looked fine on Monday Night Raw. Took a week off and came back.
Yeah.
And then we got the SmackDown Tag Title match, which just kind of happened last week, or the week before WrestleMania, where Alexa Bliss was like, "Oh, so the Usos didn't want to compete. Well, now they're gonna have to compete against everybody." And really, like, it kind of sucked to see Black and Ricochet go 0 for 3 in their tag title quest over that week.
Right.
Because, I mean, we had, to talk about TakeOver for a quick second, TakeOver was hands down an absolutely incredible show.
You know what? I didn't see TakeOver.
Oh, go watch TakeOver.
I gotta watch that. A lot of things happened last week, and I'll talk to you about it after the show. But boy, it was a mess.
Yeah, when you get some time, watch TakeOver.
That's my favorite. TakeOvers are always my favorite. It's hard to beat Mania weekend because Mania is just crazy.
Yeah.
But man, I love the TakeOver shows.
TakeOver was so good, and especially because it was only just like 5 matches, I think.
Yeah.
4 or 5, whatever it was, and it was good. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Usos came out on top because, of course, they did, because they're the best. Which, I mean, it's fine by me. They're the Usos. I'm good with that. And then we had The Miz versus the best professional wrestler in the world.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, man. It was. It needed to be Falls Count Anywhere, and they got wild, and Miz, beat the absolute hell out of him, and for Shane to sneak out that win like that was perfect.
Yeah.
It was absolutely perfect. It was absolutely the way that should have ended. Because Miz, the good guy got to beat the crap out of the bad guy, but the bad guy still found a way at the end.
Yeah.
Here's where I get into a lot of trouble with the internet. It's over the women's tag title match. I don't like the Iconics.
Yeah?
I don't find them interesting. I don't find them entertaining. I don't find them bad enough to dislike. I think their ring work is sloppy. I don't like them. I really don't, and I never have. Not when they were in NXT, not when they first got called up. But I mean, you want to talk about darlings of the internet wrestling community.
Yeah.
And, I mean, fine, whatever, go do your thing. I don't, like I say, I don't hate them. There's no backlash here. It's like, oh, the Iconics are awful and they're poison to the women's street. No, I'm like, okay, whatever. This doesn't interest me. Don't care.
Yeah.
The match was okay. It was
Yeah.
it was all right. But yeah, was not a fan of the Iconics hanging on to of picking up the titles.
Yeah.
Neither was Sasha Banks apparently. So
Yeah, she took a ball, I guess.
yeah, I do like how they've run with that as a story though. Like, that was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Do what you gotta do.
But you know, well, I imagine that's probably been blown out of proportion too,
Yeah.
as things like that tend to be.
Right.
But then we come to what honestly it was my favorite match of the night. I was pulling for the triple threat, and for a while it was, but the end of that kind of soured me a little bit.
Yeah.
But damn, Kofi and Daniel Bryan just
Yep.
tore that place apart.
It was after that I had to go.
Yeah.
That's where I saw up to.
If there is a strong argument that maybe this could have been the main event.
Oh yeah. Absolutely could have been the main event.
And it's only because the actual main event kind of fell a little flat.
Yeah.
And I'm not. All three of them were on their game, but something about it just didn't quite click.
Right.
Even before the awful botch of a finish. It just didn't have, and it wasn't the crowd. It wasn't everybody's tired and this and that. It just something wasn't there, and I don't know what it was. Kofi and Daniel had it, man.
Yeah.
And they went to war, and it was, God, what a match.
Yeah.
That's how you do a WWE title match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It was fantastic, and bringing back the old belt, and they had the T-shirts, and everybody's like, oh well, they were released on WWE Shop before the match was over. My response to that is, what the hell are you doing on WWE Shop instead of watching WrestleMania? Like, you know what?
Right.
That's kind of your own fault.
Yeah.
But I do love that they were also selling the ones that had Daniel Bryan winning.
Right. That's how you do it.
I really love that.
Yeah.
But God, that was a moment, man. That was just fantastic.
Yeah. Kofi Mania. That was the one thing. That was the one thing I said going into the show. He has to win.
And he did. And
he doesn't win, I would be mad. And I'm glad he did.
And did it right. The New Day helped take out Rowan on the outside. Like, I mean, everything about that match was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
It was one of the best title matches in a while. It was one of Daniel Bryan's best ever in WWE.
Oh yeah.
It was hands down Kofi's best match of his career.
Yes.
No question. Not just because he won, but the caliber of the match. It was the best of his career.
Oh yeah.
And then we had Samoa Joe come out and just maul Rey Mysterio in like 2 minutes.
Right.
Because I don't mind that they still had this. I mean, Ray was working through his ankle, and they just kind of fed him to Joe, and it's okay. It makes sense because Joe's a monster.
Right.
Like, I get it. We all knew Mysterio wasn't at 100%. So of course, if you're the point being, if you're gonna come at Joe, you better be at the top of your game.
Right.
And Ray wasn't, and so no more Ray.
Right.
Like, I get that. It worked. Reigns and McIntyre was kind of the bathroom / concessions break match because it was by the numbers.
Yeah.
It was absolutely everything that people expected it to be. There were two big guys, they beat each other up. Then Reigns got his momentum back, Superman punch, spear, 1, 2, 3. It was great. He had his moment, and apparently now we can go back to booing him again.
Yeah.
If you ask the crowd from the other night.
Right.
So it was uninteresting. It was completely predictable bell to bell.
Yeah.
And then you had Elias come out to do his thing, and when he got interrupted by John Cena,
I didn't see this.
oh man, you gotta watch this because it's a whole big thing of here's Elias doing as part of a trio with Elias on piano and Elias on drums. And it's great because then out comes the Doctor of Thugonomics, John Cena.
That's who should have faced Kurt Angle. Come on.
Oh man, don't even get. Well, we have to get to that eventually, but don't get me started. But it was great to see him come out, throwback jersey, chain, hat, whole deal, and throw down on Elias like that. Like, go definitely watch that and just listen to the crowd pop when they hear Ward Life come through the speakers. Oh my god,
yeah,
it's awesome. And then Triple H versus Batista, which was fine for the like street fight kind of match that it was. I was glad to see Batista got in the ring. That took a moment.
Yeah, see, all this I didn't see.
Oh, poor Dave. He, came down to the ring and it's Batista, and then he gets halfway through the ropes and falls.
He fell?
He fell getting in the ring.
Really?
Yeah. Got
Wow.
right back up, but just like I guess one of his feet got caught on the middle rope as he was climbing in.
No.
And then Triple H came down on the back of a Mad Max style hot rod.
Yeah, it's like
because I mean, it's Triple H at WrestleMania. Why not?
Right.
But oh my god, they pulled out Dave's nose ring at one point. Like it was.
Oh god.
Oh, it was. It was.
I don't like that. I don't like that stuff.
It was brutal. It was rough. It was good. It ran a little long, and you could tell like crowds really starting to get tired by this point. But I mean, it was fine. Triple H won because of course he did.
Yep.
And then Kurt Angle lost to Baron Corbin in his.
So when he won, did they like hug or anything, or was it just like no?
No, it's just like that's over. That's the end of that.
Gotcha.
Like,
so it wasn't like his last match for Batista.
well, it may have been, but I mean, the whole point was these two guys did not really like each other, so they wouldn't have.
I know. I just think if it was his last match, we probably would have seen a like,
well, I
hey,
mean,
I was wrong kind of moment, like handshake or something at the end.
He announced the next day. I say this. He quote unquote announced the next day that he was retired from professional wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. It was a fine note to go out on. It put a pin on this. It gave people what they wanted to see.
Right.
It's it was fine. It was whatever.
We'll wait until he gets the itch again.
Yeah, basically.
And Guardians 4 is canceled.
Yeah. Well, I need something to do.
Right.
And come beat up Randy Orton. Retire Randy Orton. That'd be. I would be okay with like Batista and Randy Orton retiring each other at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. I'd be all right with that. Both of them having their last match together. I think that'd be all right.
Yeah.
And then Kurt Angle came out and lost to Baron Corbin, and so he doesn't wrestle anymore. And it was the most deflating thing ever.
Yeah, it was so stupid. You should have had Cena come out and do that. It would have been a great match. I mean, have them shake each other's hands at the end, and it'd been a great moment, especially if he was the thug. What I'm thinking is that was like a backup, and Vince was debating.
Because Kurt talked about it on somebody's podcast. Like he wanted Cena. He wanted Cena because it would have been the perfect way to end it. Yeah. And Vince said, no, we're putting this on Corbin. And Kurt was, I mean, Kurt went out and did business because he's a professional, but he was not happy about it. The thinking is that, now everybody hates Corbin, so he gets to be a big heel and everything. But the problem is it's the wrong kind of heel heat. It's not we don't like you and we want to see you get beat up kind of heat. It's we hate you, go away heat.
Right.
Like that's it's not Daniel Bryan heat where you're like, God, I hope this guy gets knocked out. It's I really hope this guy just leaves. And that's not.
They should have had Corbin come out, do his little entrance, and then Cena come out right behind him, knock him out, and go, I'm the one retiring you.
Yeah. And it would have played. It would have
been great.
So well, but
people would have cheered. It would have been that moment like, yes, we thought we were gonna get this lame match. Now we're gonna get a great way for him to go out. They're just so deaf when it comes to these kind of things.
It would have woken everybody back up.
Yeah, it would have been a great. Oh man,
because Triple H and Batista seemed to just kind of drag. It had its spots and it was a great match, but it took a little while because it was a Triple H match, and by now it's hour 4, and people are just getting tired.
Yeah.
And then we had Lashley versus the Demon Finn Balor for the IC title,
Yeah.
which was a completely serviceable match.
Yeah.
And Balor won, good for him. And then the main event, which, Rousey gets played to the ring by Joan Jett. Flair shows up in a helicopter. And then Becky Lynch just struts down to the ring. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But, it was a good match. It was a solid match, but it just kind of felt like there was something missing. I don't know what. I have no clue what, because everybody was in there, everybody was involved, everybody went. It was a good match. And then, God, they screwed up the finish so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it was unfortunate.
Yeah.
But, I hesitate to call it good news, but with Ronda breaking her hand during that match, it kept her off Raw, so there was no immediate follow-up of, you didn't really pin me, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah, WWE want to be quiet about that one.
Yeah, and you notice, like, every time that they show it now, they show it from a different angle.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But, right result and everything. It was a little deflating to end that way, but, it was the right ending. Everything really had the right result. Styles Orton was great, Usos retaining, Miz beating up Shane but still losing. I mean, that was the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Everything else, Reigns McIntyre was by the numbers, what are you gonna do? Angle Corbin was really the only thing of like, oh, we did this, didn't we? Like,
yeah.
You're really going to make us do this. Like, it's the only thing on an otherwise really solid card.
Yeah, it was solid.
But yeah, definitely go back, go watch what you missed, especially, Joe versus Ray will not take any time at all, because it was like 2 minutes. Watch the thing with Elias. And then
I'll definitely go back and watch it.
Yeah.
I got so sidetracked after everything that happened, and it was all spoiled for me anyway. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, but no, it's worth watching for sure.
Oh yeah.
And especially Takeover. Oh man, watch Takeover. It was really good.
I'll definitely watch that. What do you think of Shazam?
I enjoyed Shazam.
Yeah, I gotta see it.
It gets. I'll tell you what, for a movie about a kid who gets superpowers and still occasionally acts like a kid about it, the villain is the perfect balance of, I'm an evil, dark sumbitch.
Oh, okay.
Like, he does not play.
Okay.
There was one point I was sitting there watching this, and there was somebody, like, further down in the row after one particular moment just went, okay, DC's not allowed to make movies anymore.
That's cool.
And it was fair. He's evil. So of course he does awful things.
Are there things in the movie that they don't show in the trailer? And by that I know it's very vague, but are there like other DC surprises in the movie?
I think you'll be yes, there are.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, stick around to the end.
And see, the thing is, I was never a fan of the Shazam side of the DC universe. After they brought them in a million years ago or whatever, that side of the universe never interested me.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how they're going to tie it all into the bigger DC universe and how he fits in the bigger DC universe.
It'll be interesting, especially with how much of the DC film universe isn't a thing anymore, because Cavill's not coming back, and Affleck's not coming back, and Miller's not coming back.
Right. I hope they just like, hey, Aquaman and Wonder Woman did good. We'll continue with those, and we'll recast everyone else.
It's pretty much what it's gonna wind up looking like.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
Make if you want to make Suicide Squad a complete reboot, fine. Or if it's just like, hey, we don't talk about the other one, fine, that works.
Yeah, because even Amanda Waller is coming back. Like Viola Davis is coming back too. So it's like I think they're and with it being an off the books Black Ops kind of thing, you have every excuse in the movie to just have somebody come in and say, "Wait a minute, I remember this happening before. Don't know what you're talking about."
Right. Exactly.
We don't talk about that.
Yep.
That doesn't exist. It's perfect. Like, it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense.
Oh yeah. And don't tell me, but I'm curious if The Rock is in it because I know he produced it. Everyone knows he's going to be, what's his face?
Oh
Black
no,
Adam.
oh dude, because they already talked about he's not in this.
Oh, okay. I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know that.
oh no, yeah, they talked about that a long time ago. Like
Well, I didn't
he's
know if he was at the end of like it was a tease at the into the
there's a
movie or not.
fun, the very end sets up like what would be Shazam 2, and it's a pull that I wasn't familiar with.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know Shazam. The little stinger before that was really funny though.
Oh, okay, okay.
But
Yeah,
no,
I don't know Shazam's side of the universe either. I know the seven deadly sins or whatever is a part of it, but
yeah,
that's about it. That's as far as and I know like Shazam and like he has like a group of kids that are all Shazam people too, in the comics. So I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do it moving forward, but we'll see. I'm definitely gonna go see it before Endgame. It's just this last week has just been it's been challenging
yeah.
to say the least. I'll tell you what happened after the show, but it's been interesting. But yeah, man, I think that's it. Oh, we'll talk about Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Yeah, we have talked about Game of Thrones, and big spoiler warning off the top.
Yes. So this episode, I believe, was called Winterfell.
Was that what I didn't know what it was called.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's called Winterfell. Yeah, this was the big, this is the final season. First episode back. It's going to be one of 6 episodes. I think if you look at the runtime, the third one's probably going to be the big battle one, because it's like 80 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
They added like 20 minutes. I think the first 2 are going to be like, here's your lead into the big confrontation. First episode was almost a mirror of the first episode where, Rob or Key Robert's Baratheon comes into Winterfell,
Right.
but this time it's Jon Snow and Daenerys. And you see Logan. Oh, real fast, the intro was phenomenal. Did you see the intro where it showed the wall being broken down?
No, I didn't.
You gotta watch that.
I usually just kind of gloss over the intro because it doesn't
No, not this season.
Yeah, now I know.
It's completely different. It's completely different. It shows the wall falling. It shows the path of the others. It shows the the name escapes me, but the first place the walkers go to, which they show in this. They show this episode.
What was it? Eastwatch?
It's like the last Hearthstone or something, or not Eastwatch.
Okay.
They sent Ned there, the kid. Okay, so in the episode, remember when they tell the kid, "Hey, go back," and he's like, "Hey, I need some."
Yeah, I can't. I just can't remember what the place.
He ends
was
up
called.
being like on the wall, but yeah, they show that, and they show the walkers. They don't show the walkers getting that, but they show the Hearthstone or whatever that place is called.
Yeah.
And then it shows Winterfell, and the camera. Usually it's just like it shows the cities being built. It shows it going into Winterfell, and it shows the main hall area. It shows the crypts. It goes through all that stuff, and then it comes out, goes down to where Cersei's at, but same thing. It goes into the castle and into like where it shows the what's it called, the big crossbow thing and then it shows the dragon's skull in the bottom of the castle.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check this out because usually like the last basically entire show, it's kind of, I mean, it's been neat to see like when they add another area, but it's never really done anything for me. But if they've really changed it up, I'll go back and take a look at it.
So for the last however many seasons, every intro shows you all the locations they're going to be at in that episode.
Right.
And every once in a while there's a new location, where this is a complete revamp. Not only that, but also in the bands that they show real fast.
Right.
All of the other ones have been of things that took place before Game of Thrones. The rebellion and all that other stuff. This one, the bands had all of the events of the show. So like the Red Wedding.
Interesting.
The Clash of the Five Kings, all that stuff. And at the end, it shows like 3 dragons and the falling red star or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's oh man, that immediately caught my eye. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And yeah, no, we saw them come to Winterfell, as expected, not very welcome. The North is
No.
not welcoming to, the last time, her father killed, Ned Stark's father and brother. So the North is not happy with Targaryens. You know, us as the audience, the viewpoint, we're rooting for them, of course, because we've seen all the shit they've been through, but these
Yeah.
people don't know. They have no idea. Um, and it's one of those, like, they get, like, none of this is gonna matter. And
Yeah.
I liked how Brand cut him off. He's like, we don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Like, we need to get we have to do this now. We can't wait any longer. By the way, your dragon, he has him. Daenerys like, what? So, like, I'm glad his character is there to just push everything forward. Like, no,
Yeah.
we don't have time for
He's
this.
yeah. He is kind of the audience, really,
Yeah,
because he knows all and sees all, and he probably, like all of us, is so sick and tired of the soap opera garbage.
yeah. It's like,
It's
hey,
like
none of
these.
this matters right now. Like, we
Yeah.
gotta, we get this guy's coming. And yeah. So, we see what happens. So, they go in. They're all upset at her. You see little Lady Mormont, the Bear Island. She's kind of the vocal one. Like, hey, like,
Yeah.
when you left, you were a king. What are you now? They're not too happy. Tyrion tries to calm them down, say, hey, even my army's coming. They're all kind of like, what? No, 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 they're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. That did the opposite of help, I think.
Yes. Oh yeah. Did you know that George Lucas visited the set of this?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I saw that there was like if you go to Game of Thrones, like their Facebook, there's like a 17-minute behind the scenes thing, and it was super fascinating. And it makes sense because they're doing Star Wars.
Yeah.
So they've been talking, and so George Lucas wanted to visit the set, and so he was giving them like direction. He's like, Jon Snow, I don't care what you do, and he's like, hello. He's saying to Emily. But anyway, yeah, no, anyway, it shows them in Winterfell. It show him riding the dragon, which is pretty neat,
Yeah.
and that should have been a big clue to her that he's Targaryen.
Yeah. Right. And then
Um,
God damn it! It's like if you anybody who's owned dogs and been in a
yes,
relationship understood that entire scene better than
oh yeah,
anybody else.
absolutely,
Like
yeah,
that's dogs at the end of the bed, just sitting there, just like, no, don't
yep,
mind us. We don't
yep,
really know what's going on here, but looks interesting. So don't mind us. It's like,
right. Just fascinated
uh,
with what's going on. Yeah, no, exactly. I love that scene. Just getting the overview of Winterfell and the North was just awesome.
yeah.
Um, we got to see. Oh, where else did we go?
Well, we got to see. We got to see Theon rescue his sister
Yes.
and see that
Um,
actually work. Like
yes.
that could have just been another like, oh, Theon, you done screwed up again.
Oh
But
yeah.
to see that he had a plan and it actually worked, like that's a big swing for him. You
Oh
know,
yeah. The
back the
guy
other
the
way.
guy that got an axe to his head
Yeah,
was one of the main writers for the show. I thought that was kind of cool to see.
yeah. There were a couple of cameos too
Yeah,
that were on that ship.
I think the guy that got an arrow to his eye was a comedian. I'm not sure.
Wasn't somebody from like something like Arrested Development or something like that? I can't
I think
remember.
so. Probably one of them.
Or
Yeah.
Parks and Rec or something.
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember.
Oh yeah. We got to see Arya in the with the dog, and Gendry.
Yeah, I loved that this was like the reunion episode.
Yes.
I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Seeing Arya and Gendry was great. Seeing Arya and Jon was great.
Yes.
That because they hadn't seen each other since season 1, right?
Season one. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. He hasn't seen her or Braun,
Yeah,
or Bran, since season one. Yeah. I thought it was cool. Like, she gives Gendry a task to build a weapon, which I'm curious what that is.
I
Looks like a staff or a
it looks
breaks
like
apart.
yeah, something that may also that may be part spear, part projectile, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure. Um, but I thought that was cool. I want to see what her weapon is.
Yeah.
But that was that was a cool.
And her,
You know,
yeah, and her with the Hound as well.
the Hound. Yeah, why do I call him the dog? Jesus. Anyway,
Eh,
close enough. But yeah, that was a cool little reunion. Um, the back and forth with you know, Daenerys' advisors kind of going back and forth with each other
yeah.
was neat, and her and Tyrion. Um, I thought you were the wisest,
That was,
Um,
oh man, that was cold.
it was,
That
yeah, it
was
was absolutely,
that was just straight up cold from Sansa.
yeah. And then Bran's just looking at him, and I'm like, oh, please don't mean what I think it means. I hope he's not seeing his death, you know. But he's just staring at him down
Well, I don't
down
think.
below.
Well, because I mean, I don't think Bran can see what is coming. I think he can see what has been.
Bran can see the future.
Can he see the future?
Yes, yeah, they can see the future. Or at least that's what I read in the book. Um, yeah, they no, they can absolutely see the future. They saw the flooding of Winterfell, all that stuff. Remember, he told him and Reckon he was talking to the Maester. He was saying, I saw the waves um flood over the walls of Winterfell. It was, and of course later in the season, Theon comes and takes over the
Yeah.
castle. They can see the future for sure.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's it's
The
that
past they can absolutely like walk in. The past is
right,
written. It's already or at least that's the way they explain it. Is that the past is all the ink is dried, but the future it hasn't.
right. So
They
it's not like I have seen what will be. It's I have seen what might be. Basically.
exactly.
Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough. Fair enough.
and that's what I'm thinking of when he's looking at him. Um, because what's his face saw his own death. The guy helping Bran.
Yeah.
Um, he saw his own death. And big theory is that Bran, to become the Three-Eyed Raven, actually ate part of that guy. That white paste that they were feeding him a couple seasons ago,
Yeah.
that he had to eat, they're saying is part of
What, the old three-eyed raven, basically?
not the old Three-Eyed Raven, the guy who helped him get there that died. Oh, I forget his name. He's the son of the guy. Oh, the guy, the kid who could see the future.
Oh, Jojen.
Jojen, yes, yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. That the paste was like veiny and stuff like that. In the books, it's way more descriptive. That it's like this is what is this stuff that you're feeding me, kind of, and it's got veins and stuff in it. So they're thinking it's partly that. But anyway, I digress. We saw the stuff with the Queen and oh man, there's so many names.
Which one?
Greyjoy.
Yeah, Euron, right?
Euron,
Isn't he the
yes.
crazy one? I man, I really respect the fact that he's just crazy.
He is.
Like, he has a plan, but
Yeah.
he doesn't care. Like, he's gonna do what he wants, and that's that. He's
Right.
not bothered by anybody's judgment or morals or anything. He is absolutely a sociopath, at the very least.
Oh yeah, and he's all she has at this point.
Yeah.
We saw Braun, get the orders to kill Jaime
And
Tyrion.
Yeah.
Yep. With the crossbow, which I'm curious how they're gonna play this out, because I don't think he'll do it. That's too obvious. But would he? I don't think he would.
Man, I don't know. Braun is a creature of survival.
That's true. But these are two people that he has gone out of his way to help. He risked his life for Jaime. Could have easily died.
Yeah, but you got to wonder just how much at the
Was he doing
time.
it just for money? I don't know.
Yeah. Is that just because that would have curried favor at that point? Like, he, think about when he was protecting them or training them in Jaime's case.
I think this just gave him something to do in this season.
Yeah, possibly.
Because he's kind of left, on the sidelines right now. Everyone's pretty much in the north. It's gonna be curious to see what happens after episode 3.
Yeah.
Because I think all hell's gonna break loose. They're gonna get destroyed. This is just me theorizing. And then, of course, as they talked about, and they kind of set up in this episode, the Greyjoy's probably gonna have to go help them and get them and save them. Um, Theon, and then I think the real war is going to be coming down south. And it's all going to come to a head down in the king, where Cersei is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm super excited. What else do we get? Oh yeah, we got Sam. With he finds out about his father, which he was like, that fucking sucks. But he was kind of a dick anyway. But then his brother is what really hurt it.
That was the one where
Yeah.
that was the big one. His dad, he could kind of understand. He was like, yeah, I get it. Yeah. He fought for Cersei, and so you did what you had. I mean, he was still my father, but you did what you had to. Right. But my brother. Kill him. Yeah, it's like, but my brother's okay, so that's all right. Your brother stood with your father, and that was where he broke. And
so it's just gonna be interesting. Because obviously,
which was perfectly the lead up to that scene with him and Jon.
Yes.
Because that scene wasn't 100% about Sam telling Jon the truth. There was a little bit of, I want you to do this because she killed my brother.
Well, I think now there is a seed of, where is this information coming from? It's coming from Sam. Of course he has a motive to give you this information, and if there's something that could be bullshitted, because he's got to be very careful how he delivers this information, because who's going to believe him?
Yeah.
And where's the evidence? Is the evidence now in Winterfell? What if Winterfell falls? Then what if that document is destroyed? That book?
Yeah.
Then who would believe them?
Nobody. That's just it. There's, aside from that diary, which we don't even know if that was one that he brought with him.
We don't, yeah.
So maybe that's a thing that doesn't exist at all. And if I'm Jon, I'm looking at this and going, no, I don't care. If I'm Jon, I'm sticking to this is bigger than all of this royal nonsense.
I agree, but does he tell her before the big battle? I think so.
Maybe.
I think he tells her. I think, because they show the next time on Game of Thrones, and they show him in the crypt at his. Now he finds out his mother's grave, and it shows her talking to him. So I think he tells her, just because it's Jon. Like, I feel
that's fair. Yeah.
He's so much like Ned Stark, where even if it's gonna kill him, he has to be like, hey, look. By the way, you're my aunt. Now, what does that change? Like, does that change anything with Daenerys?
I don't know. Maybe,
because to her, that's kind of an okay thing to do. In the Targaryens, they're very incestual. So
yeah, but I wonder how much of that she was just gonna look at and just go, no, don't want anything to do with that.
Right. Well, I'm curious if she believes it.
Exactly. That's the other thing is, but. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I think so. If you look back to, remember the season where she was in the House of the Undying?
Yeah.
And she saw the visions, and she was so close to touching the throne, and she heard her dragons, and she walked away.
Yeah.
I think that's what this is that she's so close to the Iron Throne, and could she give that up for the greater good?
I mean, isn't that what Sam asked him?
That's exactly what he asked him. It's verbatim. So. I'm curious. I'm curious how they play this out. They could all die. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
And then we could be left with, who knows? There's so many things. It could be just Sansa that's left, and she rules the North.
Yeah. No,
that's how I honestly think it's going to be.
This has to end. This has to have a bittersweet ending. It has to be somebody we love winds up, on the Iron Throne with a lot of bodies of people that we love behind them.
I agree, because they do have a new show coming out, and I think it would be a terrible thing to end it where it's just bad overall, where like the no good guy wins. I think either Daenerys or Jon's going to go. One of them are. And you're right. You're absolutely right. It makes it so much more fascinating of how this is going to push forward. And you're right. None of this matters when the dead come.
Exactly.
None of it does. So I think once we hit episode 3, the next episode is going to be all about pretty much, we think, like Jaime and like them getting prepared and like them getting warned, like, hey, it's here by morning.
Yeah. And let's talk about like the very end of that episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're
That was fantastic. Where it's like, oh, and Jamie's arrived in the north. Okay, great. And he's looking around to make sure he's not recognized. Oh, there's Bran. Like,
yeah.
oh man,
And I don't think Brand's gonna care. I honestly
no,
think Brand's gonna
because
be like,
it's
this had to happen.
exactly, and it's like he said all along. He's not Bran Stark. He's the Three-Eyed Raven.
Yeah,
He
he's definitely
doesn't. He's not going to care. He's gonna be like, yeah, that was Bran. That's not me.
right. And he talks about like, I remember being Bran. So it's, I think it's going to be like him recognizing this doesn't matter. This had to happen. The big thing is going to be him confronting his past with the stabbing the king in the back and the North, and how they're going to take that and what that means. And of course he's coming with like the truth. Like, hey, I drove all the way. Got all the way here to tell you that Cersei isn't coming. They're all going to be like, no shit.
Yeah.
But I think he is, he's I don't think they're gonna like arrest him and kill him or anything like that. I think they're gonna be like, we need you. Like, we're all in it together now. But I'm afraid of the North. I'm afraid the North is gonna do something stupid, like kill Jon Snow
Again.
And
I
it's just
think
gonna be one of those like as the audience, you're like, no, you idiots, he's there to help you. But for them, they just see him as like, I don't know. I think something like that's gonna happen where they think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And they just doom them all.
I think that what we've seen is what they're going to do, which is how many of the houses have stayed. How many have? I mean, that's why they sent Ned Umber back to Last Hearth. That's what it's called. Last
Hearth. Yeah, and we saw what happened to them.
Exactly, like, and I think maybe that's going to kick all of the others in the ass who are just kind of like sitting back and go, or who might have left and just said, no, we want no part of this. This is what we signed up for. Oh, look what happened to the Umbers. Okay, you know what? Maybe this is more important.
Right.
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
It's gonna be fascinating, man. Yeah, it's gonna be good moving forward. I'm obsessed. I've been poring over the books. I just ordered the card game. It should come. We're playing it this week. I'm excited. I just, like I said, I wish there was a video game. I wish there was something I could sink my teeth into, because books take so long. I just want something to relax in.
Well, I mean, there is the mobile game. I haven't tried that. I don't know how it is.
Oh, no. I don't like mobile game. I keep seeing the mobile game for every ad on YouTube that I watch now, because you know how you watch so many videos on YouTube of a certain subject, and then your entire YouTube, it's just all dedicated to like, hey, you might like this, you might like that. It's all Game of Thrones for me right now.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm still seeing like I'm seeing Red Lobster ads, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's kind of basic. You're probably the normal YouTuber where they get the, hey, Red Lobster. Mine's all the Game of Thrones Conquest mobile app.
Yeah.
It just seems like a, one of those, like, you can build these 3 things and then get a wait an hour, or you could pay $1 to get a token. Yeah. That's probably why there's no video games for Game of Thrones, because they're making a ton of money with that.
Probably.
Yep, but I want like a good RTS, a good like, here's a Civ game, and there's a ton of mods, and I'm probably gonna be end up doing that. But man, but anyway, that was Game of Thrones. Of course, we'll talk about it next week when the episode rolls around. But I think that's about it. Make sure you go to our YouTube, We Geek Podcast, Twitter at We Geek Podcast, WeGeekPodcast@gmail.com. Send us an email. Go like, subscribe to us. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Android, everything. And I think that's about it. We'll see you guys next week. Captain.